Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I am Ramon, a Christmas design expert and seasonal decorator here to help you feel more comfortable about your designs. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 Thanksgiving centerpiece ideas and DIYs for your Thanksgiving table. You guys, we're going to put Christmas a little bit aside because one of my favorite holidays in the year is Thanksgiving. So I thought that in order to celebrate, I would share with you 3 centerpiece DIYs for Thanksgiving. So if you are interested in Christmas decorating, Thanksgiving decorating, DIYs and more, please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, and on WhatsApp. Why? Well, because it is free and it really helps this channel. And if you are already subscribed, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because you will not want to miss all of the rest of Christmas season 2024. Are you guys ready to create some beautiful Thanksgiving centerpiece DIYs? Let's get started. All right, everyone, so step number 1 on creating this beautiful fall centerpiece DIY is going to be to prep our container. I've already dropped a little square of foam all the way to the bottom, and that's gonna save us some of the foam that we're going to be using. And I'm always telling you that prepping your container is a lot of work, but it is necessary in order to have a beautiful DIY. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually leave that right here on the package. And you guys will see in a minute why. So I had to take one of those little squares out, and I'm going to maybe use, let's see. You get to decide how many you want to put in there, really. And you also have to, it's kind of like a Jenga game. So there you go. It's gonna be more like this and like this. So that's perfect. So we're going to do this, and I also want a little bit of an edge to it because I'm going to use some of this moss. And you guys know that I get this moss at Walmart, and I just love working with it because it really creates that natural feel. So what you do is you basically stretch it out like this, and then you go on the edge. You want it to be really tight. So what you need to do is maybe do a little bit of the corners first, like this. And this is a florist trick. I worked as a florist for many years, and that's where I learned how to do all of this crafting and DIYing and designing. And you know, it was always so important to do it the right way because if you're doing this to sell, or if you're doing it for a customer or even for a family member or a friend, you don't want them to take it apart and see that the mechanics were not properly done. So that's why we always, in the industry, we're always talking about mechanics. And then also what I like about this moss is because it does have that like wild look, and look what it looks like. So we have our foam in the middle and then all of this beautiful moss around it. So now I'm gonna move on to step number 2, but before I do that, I'm gonna clear it real quick and bring the next materials, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so step number 2 is going to be to add our focal point, which is going to be this beautiful cream pumpkin. And for that, I have already added some skewers to it with some glue. And I'm gonna put this right here in the middle. And I want it to be lifted up a little bit because we're going to add the greenery. So you don't want to push it all the way down and then be flush, and then you're only going to see about this much of your pumpkin, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this greenery, and this I am obsessed with. Like I was telling you, they come from David Christopher's, and they have a website where you can go shop for all of your fall supplies. So I'm going to cut all of them at once, and I'm going to remove the tags. So I'm gonna use 2 stems, and they have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So that's 12 we're gonna be using. And I'm gonna start right here in the perimeter. And I just love the combination of this beautiful sage green and brown. And remember, what happens on the left happens on the right. And so we're going to insert like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go over to this corner right here and see how that moss really helps it to look more organic and beautiful. And you always want to insert your stems kind of sideways. You don't want to insert like this because see, if I insert like this, I'm gonna cover the pumpkin. But if I insert on an angle, it spills out, which is what we want. We want the spillage. And then what happens on the right happens on the left right here. See, and then I'm gonna move over about 180 degree turn, and then I'm gonna do the same thing right here. What happens on the left happens on the right, and what goes up must come down. I'm gonna save a few of these for the end. That's my other trick. I'm gonna save 3. So I'm gonna add yet another one right here. I'm always telling you guys to save some of the materials at the end, because then if there's any gaps or holes in it, you can always go back and fill in. So now I have this older David Christopher's stem, so I'm gonna cut it. You get 3 little stems. Well, actually you get 1 long stem, or you can cut them into 3s and then get your money's worth out of it, right? So I'm gonna use that. And look how absolutely beautiful these are, you guys. So what you want to do is you want to cut this stem on an angle to kind of make it sharp. Give it a little sharp cut, and then I'm going to go right here. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to go all the way around, and I'm going to cut. I'm going to put this guy right here. We're going to spill it backwards. I'm going to move around, and I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. Like this. I want it to spill back. We don't want to hide that pumpkin, right? So I want to make sure that I'm cutting my stems short, and then also that I'm bringing them down like this, because you don't want to hide that pumpkin. And I'm going to save 2 for the end in case that I need them. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do, and I want to explain real quick, when I'm working on a project, I always like to have all of my materials on these white containers, because look, I can just gather all the things that I need, and that way I can make my life easier. I'm gonna get my ribbon out. So I'm gonna trade in. I'm gonna put all the things that I need on this side, and then I'm gonna put the things that I already use and that I might use later on this side. And then I'm gonna bring my skewers, because you know we're gonna need those. All right, so now what I'm going to add is gonna be some of these sunflowers. Now for these sunflowers, what I'm going to do, so I'm gonna do a little cut, and then I'm gonna grab one of these skewers. They come with a little wire, and what you wanna do is wire the sunflower down to the stake, and it gives you a longer stem, right? So I'm gonna add one right here on the corner. And remember that we always work on sets of 3s, 2s, and 1s. And because I have 4 of these flowers, I'm gonna grab another skewer and I'll show you real quick. And that's the benefit of having these little stakes, you guys. I'm always telling you to always have all of your tools at the ready, and have kind of like, you know how the makeup artists always have like their makeup kit? Like if they're going out there to do makeup work, they always have like their makeup kit. Well, as crafters, we also have to build our kit, right? With all of our other items that we need, like stems and wires and stakes and all the things that we need, because that makes our job easier, especially if you're going out on the road, which sometimes I do for Christmas. I go out decorating for Christmas, so I like to have my kit like this. All right, so now I have 3, and I'm gonna add, you know what, I'm gonna add the other one. Why not, since we are already doing it. Now I wanted to share with you a trick real quick, because it is important for me that you know this. You see how our pumpkin is kind of getting lost? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take her out, and see how you can use a candle right here. You can put a candle, you can put a character, but what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring some more of my foam, and then I'm going to put a square right here in the middle, and then I'm going to reinsert my pumpkin, and that's going to help us elevate her even more in order to really be able to see it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade places with my picks, and I want to share with you real quick. So these picks are from Hobby Lobby, and they come on this bundle right here, and I love it. It has a pumpkin, it has so many items, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm going to cut. This is like wire with paper, and I'm going to share with you real quick. We used to do this at the flower shop where I worked. We go in there and we cut some of this paper and we unravel it. Look how easy it is to just pull it and unravel it. So you want to do that. All right, you guys, so now that we've unraveled our picks from Hobby Lobby, look at all of the material that you get to play with, right? You get some berries, you get some little pumpkins, you get some foliages, you get some willow picks, and so we're going to do just that. And I could not be more excited to share with you. All right, so I'm gonna bring my centerpiece back into the picture, and I'm going to share with you how we're going to do this. So first we're going to add our cute little pumpkins, and so I'm going to add these 2 right here into the foam. I'm gonna put one right there, and then I'm gonna go opposite way, and then I'm gonna do another one right here. How cute is that? All right, so now I'm gonna add some of these willow picks that come with it. Look how cute. You just kind of pull them apart. I'm gonna bring this up. So I'm gonna go like that. I'm gonna twist around, and I'm going to spread them apart like this, give them some curvature. I'm gonna add that right there. So now it comes with these berries right here. So I'm gonna add another one right there. Then I'm gonna come and do another one right here. Remember, what happens on the left happens on the right. So just be sure to spread them apart equally. And I have some of these longer picks, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna fold them down like this. I'm gonna bring this guy right here. So going down like that. I'm gonna grab the other one and give it a curvature down like this. Playing with all of the elements. I'm gonna bring this guy over to this side like this. And so now I'm gonna start using this. Oh, look, I forgot to take the tag off. Pesky tags. So I'm gonna start filling in with this right here closer to my pumpkin. All of these little foliages that come with it. You wanna add them because look how it's tying all of the look together. All of these colors are marrying so well together. And then at this point also you wanna use all of these foliages to cover some of the foam. Look at this, how absolutely beautiful is this? And you wanna go up, you wanna go down. What goes up must come down. I'm gonna add this guy right here. Look how cute this little ivy. This also will be perfect for a little boutonniere, which by the way, do you guys wanna see how boutonniere is done? I used to make boutonnieres for proms and it was one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm gonna remove this guy right here. I'm gonna bring one of these stems from at home, and I just love these guys right here. They're also in the cream color, just like the pumpkin. So I'm gonna add some of these, which are gonna be our flyaways. Remember, I do not make an arrangement unless I have some of these flyaways, because that's what gives our arrangement some texture. Look at this, it's going to fly away from our centerpiece, and it's gonna give it some air. That's why I call them flyaways, because it really lifts up the arrangement. And look, what goes up must come down. So what I'm doing is like I'm putting one up, then one down. And then I spin around a little bit, and then I do one up here. And then I spin a little bit, and then one down. And that's what's going to fill in our container and make it look even all throughout. Okay, I'm gonna add this one right here. Look how adorable is that. So now for our last touch, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring my ribbon. I'm gonna grab one of my skewers because we're going to need it. And I just thought that this is optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But what I like to do is add a little bow. So I'm gonna start by cutting some of this. And this is a really dainty burlap ribbon that is natural, so it's going to blend in really well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do just a little bow. Just a little one, not too big of a thing. So I'm gonna go like this, making sure that I spin around. And I shared with you guys on one of our last videos how to make a bow with 5 different ribbons. So I'm gonna link that down below. If you don't know how to make a bow, I really recommend you go watch that video because it really is very helpful on how to make a bow with different ribbons of widths and sizes, and so that's going to be linked down below. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna attach like that, and see how it's just a sweet little bow, nothing too extravagant, and that is gonna add a touch of softness to my arrangement. So I grab a skewer, and then I just spin this wire like this. It's gonna give us a pick, and I'm gonna look for the perfect placement for it. Let me see. I think I want to put it right about here. And so I'm going to go all the way down on my foam. Let's see. All the way down. All right, everyone, so I want to share with you real quick the beautiful tablescape that I set up for Thanksgiving. I went ahead with this beautiful pumpkin and cream sunflowers, and the gorgeous foliage that ties in with the beautiful napkins. Setting a beautiful Thanksgiving table, it's all about coordinating your napkins, your charger, your plates, all of your beautiful silverware or flatware, and your stemware. And here I use a rattan charger with my cream and gold rim plates, and also this beautiful crystal bowl with a gold rim. The napkin is brown, and as I mentioned before, it really ties in with the foliages. I use my gold flatware because I am obsessed with it, and then also my gold rim glasses. I put up some tapers and light them up, and they just look absolutely stunning. I really love the way this turned out for Thanksgiving. I really hope that you'll give it a try. I cannot wait to read your comments, so be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know what do you think. Wasn't that centerpiece and tablescape beautiful and perfect for Thanksgiving? You guys, it was so simple to make, and I also love the cream palette with brown and gold. It is perfect for a Thanksgiving table. But now I'm going to share with you perhaps one of my favorites, which is a very traditional color centerpiece for Thanksgiving on your table. Let's take a look. Okay, so step number one is going to glue 2 of these blocks of foam into your tray. And I always like to leave the little package because when they crumble, then you don't have to deal with a mess. And then the other thing I went ahead is I just added a little bit of moss around my mechanics. So that way when I add my garland, if there's any spots that I missed, then you won't really be able to see them. So what I want you to do now is you're gonna go ahead and grab this garland and you're gonna put it down like this. And then you're going to go very tightly, very tightly. You're gonna grab 2 bristles, one on each side right here. And as tight as you can, you're gonna go ahead and tie this together to make it one and stay. And this is a tricky part because you have to make sure that you go over those corners because that's how that's going to stay. As you guys can see, it'll stay right here. Once you have your garland in place and it's all tied together, what you need to do is you need to start fluffing your garland to make sure that you have enough of these bristles to tie the rest of the elements in and covering some of that based on your centerpiece. Okay, so the next step is going to be to add some of this burlap ribbon from the dollar store. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and just pinch right here. As you guys can see, it's already dovetailed. And I'm gonna use my bristles and I'm gonna give them a little bit of a give, probably about a 4-inch give. And then I'm going to grab 2 more bristles of this garland. And that's why I like to use this garland for my fall projects, whether it's a swag, a wreath, or anything that you're making, because as you guys can see, you can use those bristles to really attach any element to your centerpiece. And this is going to be really elegant, not cheap looking, fall decorating ideas for your home. All right, so I'm gonna do one more right here. And as you can see, I'm going all the way into the garland, doing 1 loop, 1 more right here, and I'm gonna go as far in right here into the garland so it looks like it's coming out of the garland. And I'm gonna cut right here. Once I cut, I'm going to dovetail just so that if the ribbon is showing, like right here, it's finished. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab this other ribbon and I'm gonna start on the opposite side right here. So I'm gonna dovetail and then I'm going to pinch as far in as I can and attach. And I want that to really show. And I'm gonna make this one closer to the foam so you can really see it. And as you guys can see, the loops are overlapping as I go. They're kind of on the same spot, but because one is higher than the other one, they overlap and they look like that you put them together at the same time, but you really didn't. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do another one right here. And because this is wired, you can always go back and fluff at the end. I'm always telling you to fluff at the end. I'm gonna do one more loop right here, and they are probably about 4 to 5 inches if you are wanting to replicate. And And then we're gonna spin it right here. And once again, this Lazy Susan really does help me to spin my project around. And this one is too tall. As you guys can see, what I'm going to do is just pull a little bit like that. And I think I'm gonna stop right here, but I'm going to dovetail my ribbon. So I'm gonna fold in half and always cut towards the edge. Like that. Well, if you've been following the channel, you know that I like to cut all of my foliages at the same time because that way it's faster. You do not have to go back and cut all of your stems one by one. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip my trash over here. And what I'm going to do at this moment, I'm gonna bring my candle back in. I'm gonna put it right here in the middle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this really pretty boxwood. And I'm gonna start right here in the corner, and that's what's gonna give our shape. Making sure that goes in that foam so you don't lose your foliages. At this point, if you wanted to glue it, you could. But you guys know that I like to recycle my materials so that way that I can show you more projects. I'm gonna do one right here on the top. Then I'm gonna remember what happens on the left happens on the right immediately. So that way it's balanced. As you guys can see, I started right here on the right. I moved to the left in the same spot. Then I did one to the top, one to the right here. And then I'm gonna do one right here in the front. But because I ran out of this particular foliage, what you need to do is immediately switch foliages and then go over to the other side where you added foliage right there. And then I'm gonna add one of these right here on the top. And I'm gonna move over to this side right here, making sure that it goes all the way into the foam. And remember, you can always fluff those those ribbons at the end. And this is starting to take shape. I love the way that the Christmas garland really helps me create a more full feel to it. Remember what happens on the right, we're going immediately to the left. And that's what's going to really elongate our shape. And I have one more right here that I'm going to add to the front. All right, so then we're gonna move into this oak foliage. I think it's an oak. And this is what's gonna help us really fill in and cover some of this Christmas garland. I'm gonna go over here. Starting to take shape. As you guys can see, it's super easy. All you have to do is repeat the steps. What happens on the left happens on the right, and immediately move over to this side and insert over to this side like that. I love the foliage color on this because it looks like they're turning, and that is my favorite thing. I remember when I lived in Kansas and I used to go running, and my favorite time to run was of course during the fall because you could see all of the trees and all of the evergreens just turning colors, and it was just the most beautiful sight. Right, so I'm gonna insert one right here. And always keep in mind what happens on the right happens on the left. And that way you'll have a very balanced centerpiece. Remember, we're gonna fluff all our ribbons at the end. Okay, I'm gonna get my flowers and my pumpkins ready, and I'll be right back with you. All right, everyone, so I have a few sunflowers that I'm going to insert right here. I'm gonna start right here on the top, and make sure that you go sideways so you can really go into that foam, and you wanna make sure that you go all the way down. So remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So I'm going to swirl all the way around, and I'm gonna repeat the exact same step, cut a corner from that one, and I'm gonna go sideways like this. And then I'm going to go ahead right here on the bottom. So I'm going to give this one a little curve so it goes up. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab and just insert right there. Then I'm gonna move it immediately over to the other side, giving it a little curve with two of my fingers. I'm gonna put this one right here on the bottom. And what I want to do now is I'm going to add some of these beautiful pumpkins, lifting my ribbon up. Look at that. Then I'm gonna move over to the other side, and I'm going to insert one right here, making sure that goes all the way down. And then because I only have three, I'm gonna add a triangle. So I'm gonna add this one over on this side. So far, so good. But what's really going to make this centerpiece fly off your table is going to be the flyaways. And for that, I'm going to use some of these bittersweet. And I'm gonna start by adding two on this side. And I love the way this bittersweet pulls the orange from the ribbon, and it just gives it that flyaway effect that you guys know I love. I don't do a centerpiece, a wreath, or a lantern without any flyaways because I feel like they really just add that really beautiful natural look. And if you live in an area that you know where the bittersweet grows wild, you know, it like hangs on to fences and it's just so pretty, and it just twists and turns, and it's just one of my favorite things about fall in the Midwest. I'm gonna add one right here. Okay, so I just wanna show you what the centerpiece looks like with all of the beautiful bittersweet, the hurricane and the candle, the pumpkins, the sunflowers, and all of that foliage that looks like it's turning in the wild. I cannot wait to read your comments, so leave me a comment down below. I absolutely love the traditional colors for Thanksgiving. I think they are perfect. The green, the orange, the mustard yellow. It is absolutely gorgeous, and this centerpiece will look beautiful on your Thanksgiving table. But next, I'm going to share with you a beautiful pumpkin centerpiece that I think is absolutely gorgeous, and I really hope you like it. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, for this next fall DIY, I thought I'd share with you a centerpiece that is super easy, affordable, and I know you will love it. The first thing we're going to need is going to be a large pumpkin, and I absolutely love this one because it has like a terracotta look to it. As I told you before, that is kind of like the theme for this collection. I'm gonna use some mums in the terracotta color as well. Look how pretty these go together. I'm going to use some florals. We're going to omit the cream ones, but we'll use the rest of them. I'm gonna use some floral foam, some florist tape, and a selection of foliages from David Christopher's in the browns and the green and the sage, and I just think they're gonna be perfect. And I don't know if I'm gonna use some of these burlap foliages, but I'm still gonna have them hit a hand. All right, so I'm gonna get started. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this aside. So what I'm going to share with you is that I have some of these blocks of foam, and what I did is I went ahead and put that on my pumpkin and twisted until I can no longer twist, gently, so that way I can put my florals in there. Because I don't want to glue it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of this florist tape that is see-through, and I'm going to basically very tightly go like this and glue it to my pumpkin like this. And for that, the pumpkin has to be really clean so that tape sticks to it. But we're going to do one like this, and then we're going to crisscross the other side. Also make sure that it's really tight, so that way it sticks to your pumpkin. And because it's clear, you won't be able to see it, and then you'll be able to reuse your pumpkin for other projects if you like. Also, always never forget to bend that tip, so that way you're not looking for your tape. It's a pain. All right, so I'm gonna put that right here in the middle. That's going to be our centerpiece right here. So I'm gonna start by adding some of these foliages. And I also love this David Christopher eucalyptus. And by the way, did you know you guys get 10% of any purchase at David Christopher's with the code Ramon10? All you have to do is at checkout, use the code Ramon10. That way you can get 10% on your purchase at David Christopher's. And I wanted to spill forward and back and down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert some of them like cascading down, so you have to kind of go up on that. See how it cascades down? And I'm going to go ahead and add this one right here on the top like this, and I'm going to use this one over on the other side. The best way, like I told you many times before, is to just spin your pumpkin around every time that you are doing an insertion, because that way it allows you to continue to have that radiation, which is what makes your pumpkin look more natural. All right, oh, I have another one. Oh, two more. They were hiding from me. So I'm gonna add one right here on the top. And then I'm going to add another one coming down right here. So that's that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some of these brown foliages that I absolutely love. Look how good those are, you guys. David Christopher really knows how to do foliage, and I just love it. When I went to the showroom in Atlanta, oh my gosh, they had so many beautiful foliages that I just wanted to get, but you know, your boy's on a budget, so I have to be selective of the ones that we use. And so this one was one of them. This is also one of the ones that I share with you on my shopping haul. So what I'm doing basically is I'm just cutting all of them, as many as I can. And then don't forget to save some of these stems as well, because later on they'll come in handy. All right, so I'm going to go right here, and then I'm going to go over on this side like that. Look how good that looks. It is so big and luscious, and I just absolutely love it. Like that. I'm gonna add one right here on the bottom. And I kind of need to step away to see where do I need some. So basically right here and right here. That is so pretty. Look how big and luscious that looks, and I just absolutely love that when it looks so full. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these beautiful moms, and these moms are going to help us to really fill in, and for that I need to cut them really short. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert these moms all the way in like that, and we're going to do sets of 3s, 2s, and 1s. Remember, that is a rule when you are doing florals. In order to have a beautiful floral arrangement, you have to do sets of 3s, 2s, and 1s, and then also do them on a triangle motion. Do you see right here how I did a triangle, 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to this side. I'm going to do a set of 2, and when you do a set of 2, you do one facing up and the other one facing forward right here, and that's also going to help you cover some of that foam. I'm going to do a set of, I'm going to actually do one right here, then I'm going to do another one over here. Isn't this beautiful, this terracotta pumpkin? I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna go right here as far as I can. That's really good, but I think I need a few more over on this side. And remember, you can always go back with that moss, and I think I will later on go back with that moss to cover some of that. Look how pretty that looks, you guys. All right, so now those are all the ones I'm gonna use in that color. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of these guys right here, but I think I'm gonna cut them a little bit longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this, because remember, I already saved one of these stems from my other project to share with you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this a little bit longer. And remember, we're going to omit the cream ones. We're just gonna save them from another project over here. So I'm gonna put them over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these beautiful, look at that, it has the orange, the terracotta on them, and I want these ones to kind of fly away a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my foam right here, and I want them to be a little bit further. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add this guy right here, and then remember to do that triangle. So there's 2. What goes up must come down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically put this one over here in that triangle motion. As you guys can see, 2 on the top, 1 on the front. And so now I'm going to repeat this with the other color. So now what I'm going to do is I have 2 on the top. I'm gonna add this one over on this side like that. And then I'm going to add 2 over on this side to create that triangle right here. And then I'm going to go over here like that. How absolutely cute is that, you guys? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna use some of these foliages that are made out of burlap. This is gonna give us even more texture right here. So I'm gonna find my foam, and I'm going to go up, down. And the one thing that I want you to notice is that I put it sideways. I never put them flat because you lose them. You get your money shot if you do use sideways like this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another one like that. Look at that. And because this spill forward so far out, you want to make sure that you let them spill out. This is what I was telling you earlier about letting them breathe, to where before we've done arrangements that were really packed. Well, we want to make sure that they get as long and as airy as possible, and the way you do that is by not pushing so far in. Remember, you can always cut them short, but you can never make them longer. So you want to make sure that you give enough stem in your project to have to make him fly away. Look how absolutely gorgeous this is. This is turning out even better than I imagined it when I thought of it on my mind, but I am so glad that it is looking so good. I hope you are liking it. If you are, you know what to do. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share with your friends so they too can come and join us here at Ramon at Home. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add one right here sideways. All right, I absolutely love the way this turned out. As I told you before, by having a longer stem, it really lets your flowers breathe between insertions. And so now what I want to do is I want to share with you how absolutely beautiful this looks with a candle on the top. That is the reason why I didn't fill in the top of my bouquet, because by adding a candle, you can have a gorgeous centerpiece for your table. Imagine 2 of them on a tablescape, perhaps even 3, or if you're having a party and having individual tablescapes, this is absolutely perfect. The colors are so beautiful and perfect for fall, starting with this terracotta pad, and you guys, this David Christopher's foliage, you cannot beat it. Look how absolutely gorgeous this looks. I really hope that you like it and you'll give it a try. But now I'm going to get ready for my next project. But before I do that, if you are enjoying this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. And if you are new in this channel, be sure you consider subscribing for future fall DIYs and of course the holiday season coming your way. Stay tuned. So what do you guys think? Weren't these beautiful Thanksgiving centerpieces so easy to make? I cannot wait to read your comments, so be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know which out of the 3 centerpieces for Thanksgiving was your favorite. I have my own favorite, but you know I'm biased since I made them all. All right, you guys, well, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you already subscribed, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because we still have so much going on for Christmas 2024. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and as always, you can watch more videos right now. Until next time, bye.